Hello guys, welcome back. This is how I would rewrite the Avatar Last Airbender movie part 2. So last time, General Zhao found out that Zuko was the Blue Spirit and the team left Jet behind and went to go to the Water Tribe, the Northern Water Tribe. So we're gonna continue off there, the team going to the Water Tribe. Okay, so once again, this is just an outline. As I mentioned before in my previous video, once the team make it to the Northern Water Tribe, Aang is accepted to be trained by Paku, but doesn't want to teach Katara like in the show. So there's a bit of misogyny, I think. So there's that conflict of Katara wanting to be trained and Paku not allowing her. Meanwhile, Sokka develops a crush on Yue, who is currently the leader of the Northern Water Tribe. While Aang is training, Katara is learning healing. This will be the first introduction of water bending healing, since in the previous movie I didn't really mention it yet. I want to introduce it here. After a while, Katara has had enough and decides to fight Paku to prove that she can be a good fighter. She loses against Paku, but he has her respect, and he finds out she is the granddaughter of Kana. Meanwhile, Zuko and Iroh docks their ship and goes around the village to buy some stuff such as tea and some furniture, as you know how Iroh likes his stuff. When they get back, the crew members are leaving alongside Zhao, who paid them in order to attack the Northern Water Tribe. Zuko gets furious, but Iroh calms him down. Zuko then says he'll go rest because he is tired. Iroh continues shopping. While Iroh goes around, Zuko's ship explodes, supposedly killing Zuko. Now back to Aang's training. He senses a strong spirit near him. He asks Yue if there are any spirits in the village. She brings him to the pond where Ying and Yang stay. Iroh joins Zhao and his raid. After meeting with Zhao, he meets up with Zuko, who is disguised in Fire Nation armor. Iroh explains to Zuko Zhao's plan to invade. While everyone in the Northern Water Tribe is minding their own business, they notice the ash in the air, and Sokka warns everyone of the Fire Nation fleet coming. Zhao's fleet is about to enter until Iroh tells them that the moon gives the waterbenders an advantage, and Zhao tells him he has a plan for blocking out the moon. Zhao then stops his fleet to wait till morning to attack. Iroh meets up with Zuko before he departs from the ship, and he tells Zuko that he sees him as his own son, and Zuko replies he knows, and Iroh continues to tell Zuko about his breathing covering eyes, you know, the regular nagging he does. Aang decides to find a way to get help from the Moon Spirit in order to take down the Fire Nation, and heads into the Spirit World next to the pond. There, Katara and Yue stay with him while Sokka joins the warriors in defending the tribe. In the pond, Zuko appears and kidnaps Aang while he is still in the Spirit World. In the Spirit World, Aang comes in contact with Ko to find where the Moon Spirit is. Zuko drags Aang to the cave and to keep warm from the cold breeze. Katara and Yue tells Sokka Aang is missing, and they all set out to find Aang. The moment Zhao gets to the koi fish, Iroh appears and tries to talk him out of killing it. Zhao then kills the fish, and Iroh goes into a rage and starts beating Zhao and the troops. The team head back to the pond to find the koi fish is dead, and Aang gets into the Avatar state, defending off the tribe, fighting off the Fire Nation. Yue gives her life to the fish, and Zuko and Zhao have a fight, but Aang in the Avatar state disrupts their fight and kills Zhao, but Zuko tries to help him but fails. The ending of the movie will be Aang accepting himself as the Avatar in The Last Airbender. Alright, so now we're done with what I would add to the story, and now we're gonna go to the scenes that I would have rewritten. So first thing first, the opening should be like the cartoon, show visuals of the war instead of the narration and the text on the screen. The next one I would rewrite is the meeting with Aang and Katara. It should be him asking her to go penguin sledding and introducing himself to her and Sokka instead of just cutting straight to the igloo. But Aang doesn't tell them that he is the Avatar and keeps it to himself. In the igloo, Aang tells them that he is an air nomad, and they ask him if he knew the Avatar, and he hesitantly says yes. When Zuko spots the beam, he addresses it to everyone, and Iroh asks him if he would join for tea or for a massage. Zuko screams at him saying that he needs to go there to find the Avatar, so that we can, establish more on the dynamic these two have, like what kind of banter they have with each other. The Blue Spirit arc should be longer and have more scenes where Zuko and Aang help one another. Don't have Zhao immediately identify who the Blue Spirit is yet. Like in my first video, I said that he finds it out that he is the Blue Spirit in the ending. After Aang escapes the prison with Zuko, when Zuko wakes up, Aang tells him they could have been friends. Zuko attacks and Aang leaves. So it feels right, unlike what they did with the movie. It feels a bit off and out of place for me. Now, the character changes I would have done, because trust me, there's a lot of character changes we didn't like. Now, I don't want to have Zhao to be the teacher's pet to Ozai. He's always going to Ozai for everything. He's telling him everything about his plan. But in the cartoon, he was much more power hungry. He wanted everything for himself, so that makes him more interesting than what we had in the movie. And another thing I would like to change is Aang's personality. I would rather have Noah Ryder be himself, because apparently I was watching some behind the scenes. He was a very energetic kid, and he kind of did fit Aang, but you know, the movie just straight up made him edgy, as if we didn't have any more edgy characters, man. Like, they actually made Sokka edgy. I'll get back to him. Now, make Katara an actual human being instead of just an expositionist and a narrator. Like, I cannot, like, she just needs to have her own personality. I don't want her to be just bland and just standing there as everything happens. And honestly, I don't know much about this actress. I only seen her in like 2 movies, which is this one and Transformers: Age of Extinction. And I don't want to say anything. I'd rather leave it to you guys. Make Sokka be younger and insecure of himself, but show that he is capable of being one of the smartest tacticians in the world of Atla. Because later on in the series, we actually see him plan an attack against the Fire Nation, which is something that we should build up to, something that people will be like, oh yeah, he's capable of doing it, unlike what we just seen here, which is basically nothing. And I'd like to have more of just small hints between Aang and the relationship with Appa, because in the second movie, if I were to write one, I would also do the Appa lost day. I'll actually like try to write it in as the beginning of the movie. I find that very interesting to have Aang be so emotional about it and have him be sad, you know, like he lost a friend, he lost a pet, it's something like that. And another character change I would have is Iroh. He was a bit too serious, he didn't really do much either, he was just there in the background, pretty much like everyone. I have him as a goofy uncle, and that can transition to a guy who can actually breathe fire from his mouth after drinking some tea. He's actually one of the coolest characters, but he's just also a bit goofy sometimes. So the things I didn't include was the freedom fighter members, because there's already too many people. Another thing I didn't add anymore was the air temple thing. Though that one episode where everyone wasn't an airbender, but they were all staying in the air temple. But I'll mention it in the second movie, because that's where the whole blimp thing comes into place. Another thing I didn't include was Zhao. I think I'll also add him. I'll save him for the next movie also. Another character I think some of you might not remember is Heibai, the spirit of the forest. The one that looks like a panda. Yeah, I didn't include him anymore because I felt like the spirit thing was a bit too much. I mean, not like too much, like I'm already adding so much to the movie. I mean, I could have made it into a trilogy, but I don't know what I would have done in the second part, like, because for me it's also kind of limited for the first season. So I felt that it should be appropriate that split it into 2 parts. Another thing I didn't add was that one episode with that lady who was predicting stuff from the bones and the clouds. I forgot what she was called, but yeah, I didn't include that anymore either. So that was all the stuff So that's how I would rewrite the Avatar Last Airbender movie. Once again, this is just an outline. If you want me to write a whole script, which I'd be interested to do, trust me, I like to write scripts. I'm currently writing a Robin fan film of Dick Grayson. If you want me to do like a table reading or something, then go ahead, comment down below, or like the video. Or, yeah, just tell me if you want. Just tell me if you want it, because I'll be interested to make one, and I'll try to get people who are sort of close enough to the cast. I'll try, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for this. Just listening on my video. This is the second part of it. Thank you and goodbye.